Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for Romeo is a Dead Man, apparently. So dear viewers, this particular video game released just this very day. And I know exactly what you're thinking. OCG, you oh so talented chap you, who has a wet dream of meeting Suda51 in real life just so he can ask the talented bastard just what the hell is going on in half of your video games, man. What the hell is this game? And I'm so glad that you asked, dear viewer. Romeo is a Dead Man is a hyper-violent third-person action-adventure video game thingamajig in which we play as Romeo Stargazer, who just so happens to be in love with a woman called Juliet. And yes, I know what you're thinking, dear viewers. Something about that seems awfully familiar, though I can't quite put my pinky on it. Anyway, Romeo works for the FBI space-time agency thingamajig, and is commonly known as Dead Man. And basically our job in this game is to hunt space-time's most wanted fugitives through multiple universes. At least I think that's what it's about. This game gets weird, with a capital W and an oddly sounding D. Weird. So let's review this bloody video game the only way I know how. Badly. And let's start with what I loved about Romeo is a Dead Man. Well, that's an easy answer. Absolutely everything, dear viewers. This game comes to us from those oh-so talented bastards at Grasshopper Manufacture, as well as Suda51 himself. They're responsible for such video games as No More Heroes, No More Heroes 2, No More Heroes 3, Killer is Dead, Lollipop Chainsaw, Shadows of the Damned. And all you need to know about those particular video games, dear viewers, is that some of them happen to be my favorite video games of all time. So, as you can probably imagine, I was very excited for the barely speak English today. I seem to be speaking some kind of alien language. Anyway, as you can imagine, I was incredibly excited for the release of Romeo is a Dead Man. And I'm happy to report, if it's not already obvious, this game did not disappoint. Third-person shooting, hack and slash combat, an absolutely bonkers story, various different art styles. Sometimes it'll just look like your pretty standard action PlayStation 3 era video game. And no, I don't use that as a negative, that's actually a big positive in my mind, because the PlayStation 3 was home to most of Grasshopper Manufacture's best games. You'll see cutscenes that are in a very anime style, some look like stop motion, there's a very fun text adventure style section towards the end of the game. What I'm trying to say is that the cutscenes and the visuals for this game are absolutely fabulous, and had me laughing more than that time I caught an old man on a Zimmer frame accidentally tripping over a gorilla. And no, don't ask me how that circumstance came to be. All I can say is, it was bloody funny. What's also bloody funny is this game. Suda51 has a very odd sense of humor and likes to throw in a lot of Easter eggs and movie references into his video games. And this game might have some of the weirdest references I've seen in one of his games yet. There's a bloody sequence that's reminiscent of Train Spotting, for God's sake. Train bloody spotting. I mean, I don't like Train Spotting. I actually think it's one of the worst movies ever made. But the fact that this game references it? How kitsch, how amusing, how positively delightful. And if that isn't mad enough, there's also a mech battle sequence. A sequence in which our character is running around with absolutely no clothes on, a jacket with a patch on the back that somehow seemingly contains the soul of our dead grandfather, who very much is modeled on Doc Brown from the Back to the Future movies. Rather convenient considering that this game's storyline has a hell of a lot to do with time travel. It's also incredibly violent, which is always a positive in my book. Hyper-violence happens to be just one of a few of my favorite kinks. Ha ha! Anyway, the point I'm trying to make, dear viewers, is that I absolutely love this game. So much so that I played through it not once, but twice before making this very review. Does the story make a lot of sense? God, no. Are there moments in this game which are utterly and completely random? God, yes. But is this game an absolute blast from start to finish? God, yes. In fact, I can safely say that this is my favorite game of 2026 so far. But in the interest of being completely transparent and completely fair, was there anything about this game I didn't love so much? Just a few minor nitpicks. I did find some of the later stages in the game to slightly kind of outstay their welcome. There's a stage that is mostly a stealth sequence, which isn't my favorite kind of gameplay mechanic in a game. Also, because the story is so bloody batshit, even having gone through the game twice, I don't think I can explain what actually happens at the end of this game. Maybe I'll figure it out on future playthroughs, which you can bet your third nipple I will be doing. If there's one thing about Suda51's video games that's guaranteed to happen, it's that I will play them repeatedly, over and over and over, each and every single year after their release. So I'm very happy to report that Romeo is a Dead Man is right up there for me with Suda51's best other games like Lollipop Chainsaw, Shadows of the Damned, Killer is Dead. Therefore, I declare that Romeo is a Dead Man is splendid. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another review by yours truly. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.